Breaking news, Allen Lazard, the wide receiver one, or at least the projected wide receiver one for the Green Bay Packers, has officially been ruled as doubtful for his game against the Minnesota Vikings, which means we have to look at the rest of the options that this team has, the rest of the wide receiving options that this team has, because someone has to get these targets, right, Drew? I mean, 20 to 30 targets on average for this Packers offense. Who's going to be the main beneficiary? We got Sammy Watkins out there, Christian Watson's out there.
You also have Romeo Doubs.
You have Romeo Dubes.
Randall Cobb is available.
Randall Cobb, veteran.
Even Amari Rodgers is kind of appealing a little bit too.
Been in that offense a couple years. How do you see this shaking down?
It looks like a lot of the ball is going to go almost everywhere. I think you're going to see a lot of, the two usuals, the Randall Cobbs and the Sammy Watkins. You might see an appearance from Christian Watson a couple times, maybe your Amari Rodgers, maybe even a Romeo Dubes. But also, too, we could look at tight end Robert Tonyan, a guy that Aaron Rodgers could also rely on quite a bit through the middle. So I kind of like Robert Tonyan as well a little bit here, but I think this could be a breakout for Cobb and or Sammy Watkins, because at this point, Randall Cobb is listed as a wide receiver 2 and Watkins the 3. You might just move everybody up one in space and put Cobb as the 1, Watkins as the 2, maybe depending on who you like more, Christian Watson as your 3 or Rodgers as your 3.
The way I'm looking at this, I think one thing I've learned from Aaron Rodgers, particularly when his wide receivers have been injured or out, is that he'll go to guys that he trusts. So Randall Cobb, I like that you mentioned him as a main beneficiary, because if you look back at that game against the Arizona Cardinals last year, where they had multiple wide receivers go on the COVID exemption list, you had Randall Cobb catch 2 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah.
You look at this backfield with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. Aaron Rodgers said in the offseason that he looks at both of those guys as 50-plus catch guys this year. I could see both Jones and Dillon catching 5 targets each, which I think would obviously help their fantasy value this week and give AJ Dillon running back 2 upside. And then I look around the rest of the roster. Okay, who's going to get, let's say they got 25 to 30 targets in this game, 25 to 30 dropbacks. I would say Sammy Watkins will be the first in line. He's healthy, and whenever Sammy Watkins has been healthy, he's been good. He's been a good wide receiver. So Sammy Watkins, I think, will be behind Randall Cobb in my mind. I think the rookies, Dubes and Watson, still have a long way to go in Aaron Rodgers' mind, because, well, Aaron Rodgers called them out a couple weeks ago in the offseason, saying that they were a little bit incoherent, running the wrong routes, and just a little bit of a shit show, for lack of better words. So I think that he's going to go trust his veterans. I think he's going to trust Cobb. I think he's going to trust Watkins, and I think he's going to trust his backfield. Robert Tonyan still recovering from his injury, so I think that he's going to be slow played a little bit more in the offense. Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers has never really used tight ends other than that one aberration year for Robert Tonyan. So that's how I'm ranking it. Do you have any problems with how I have it breaking down?
No, absolutely not. Like you said, I mean, he has 2 great pass catching backs in Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. So, I mean, you could definitely use those over Robert Tonyan and just kind of have those kind of be other almost receivers at that point. And you're going to see the ball being spread out quite a bit between those 2. So I like what you said, Cobb as like a 1, Watkins as a 2, maybe like an Amari Rodgers as a 3, because he's been there a little bit longer than obviously Christian Watson and, Romeo Dubes.
My only problem with Rodgers is just he's a little bit of a retread of what Cobb does.
Yeah. I'm just saying that because he's pretty much the only other wide receiver you could put at the 3rd spot as like a wide receiver 3, besides the other 2 rookies. And then, like you said, Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon would probably even get more receptions than he would anyway. So at that point, you could put both of those guys as a wide receiver 3 and a running back 1 or 2. So
if you told me we saw a formation with Aaron Jones lining up outside and AJ Dillon in the backfield, I would also say that that's highly likely, given just Allen Lazard's injury hurts their wide receiving depth. In fact, I will recommend too, even Randall Cobb as a daily fantasy play. I'm sure you could buy him on the cheap, and I think he's going to have a touchdown this week. I'm going to call Randall Cobb anytime touchdown this week, as Aaron Rodgers looks for his guys to make a big statement against the Minnesota Vikings. Aaron Rodgers always has good days against the Minnesota Vikings. I expect nothing less this week. But anyway, guys, sorry you missed out on Allen Lazard. Hopefully that any of these other backup options will be appealing to you or available on your waiver wire. Leave a like on this video. If you have any fantasy football questions, drop them below in the comments. From Ju-Ju Talk Sports and Drew Hagenbaugh, stay safe, happy, and healthy. Oh, and hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.